Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to you, unless you live across the date line, quote unquote, friends in the future. Otherwise, happy Friday. Who's all here today? Welcome to Coffee with the Council, Reprise. Hey, Debbie, how are you? What's going on? How are you feeling, dear? Oh, you feeling great? Oh, I love that. Congratulations. Looks like our other friends are yet to join us. Talk to me, Debbie. What's going on today? It's evening for you now, I'm assuming, since you are in the UK. Where is Pontypridd? Pontypridd? Not sure how to say that. It's Thursday evening here, so this is my treat for the evening. Very nice. Pontypridd. Pontypridd. Ooh. Pontypridd. Is that from Gaelic or Old English or something? That's fascinating. I would have never expected double D to be expressed as an ETH. It's near Cardiff, the capital. Oh, okay. Are you in Wales? Hey, Nancy. Good to see you, my friend. You're in Wales, Debbie. Very cool. Actually, the company that I work for, Cardiff is one of our partner venues. So if you're near Cardiff, and what are they showing? I think they're showing Mesmerica or Beautifica. I think it's Beautifica. If you haven't seen either of those shows, I have to look up where, which one it is. I think it's Beautifica. Cardiff. Yes, they are showing Beautifica, which is quite amazing. It's one of our shows that the company I work for develops and distributes. Beautifica. Yes, it is. I haven't seen any of our shows yet because I haven't lived anywhere close enough to where or partner venue has the show, but it's incredibly inspiring. It's people rave about how heart opening and hope filled it is and inspiring it is. It's a audio visual sound immersion experience. So super cool stuff. Hey, April. Welcome. Happy Thursday to you, dear. How are you? Nancy, what's going on in Brockport? You're welcome, Debbie. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it will blow your mind and heart wide open. Again, I haven't seen it. I'm just saying this is what people are saying. Awesome, April. Glad you're doing well. Me too. A little reserved on the energy today, but still doing good. I just had a lovely, relaxed morning, beautiful walk, really nice meditation. I love the meditations where I just seem to connect with everything and just go. It's really nice. A lot of rain in Blockport. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not there. Nancy and I used to live about 30 minutes from each other. A lot of sunshine here today. It was 80 degrees at 10:30 this morning, and I got a late walk in, and man, it was hot because of the elevation and all the sunshine. Hey, Joanne, welcome. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Who else is coming in? Please say hi. If you are brand new, which we call firsties, please do say hi and tell us where you're from. We always love welcoming friends we have just starting to meet. So April says, nice to hear you're allowing time for rest, Greg. I've been getting a lot of deep sleep. Oh, that's cool. I chose to stay up quite late last night. I was deep in one of my games and I pushed myself a little too far. So I have a little bit of achy arm today, but I had fun. And then I took the morning to be leisurely. Hello, Johnny. Good evening to you. Hi. The light show sounds cool. Definitely one for the Mojo game. Oh my God. Yeah, it is. I started working for this company in November, and I interviewed with them in the middle of October, and they had a trailer on their main website, and I didn't even get through the whole trailer, and I was just flooded with amazing high frequency vibes, and I knew that what they were doing was in perfect alignment with my mission, and my purpose on the planet, to just spread love and spread joy and uplift, which are really, I guess, at the root of everything that I do. So it's been really fun working with them, because I know that every guest that comes and sees the shows, not every, most of the guests that come and see the shows. So Johnny, where are you in the UK? You're in London. Okay, so we don't have anything in London right now. What else? Plymouth. Well, we're in Cardiff, but that'd probably be too far. You Plymouth, UK. Couple other spots. Yeah, you can look up Beautifica or Mesmerica. Those are our two shows. Nancy, these shows are in the Rochester. Have you ever been to the Strasbourg Planetarium, Rochester Museum and Science Center? Yeah, anyways, really, really, it's been a lot of fun working for them. It's like, I don't know if anybody's felt this way. Let me know if you have. But I've had a lot of jobs in the past where I haven't felt in alignment with what the company was doing. The job itself might have been interesting, but ultimately, as time went on, I just didn't like what the company itself was doing. And so this is just a joy to feel in wonderful alignment with the purpose and the mission of the company that I'm actually working for as well. And the only other time I've actually had that experience was when I worked for Disney, when I was in LA. Because I love Disney. All right, my friends. Hey, Amelia. You made it. Yay. Welcome. How's everything in Finland today? Beautiful. Yeah, the night sky. Yeah, the nighttime sky shows. Yeah, I grew up on those. God, I love those. I grew up in planetariums, basically, so it's fun to work for a company that presents shows in planetariums. Oh, I'm glad Finland and you are great, Amelia. Is everybody ready? Today's topic is an exciting one. Of course, every topic has been exciting. Is-ness says yes to everything. This is from April 21st. Is anyone brand new? I don't think we have any firsties. Did anyone say hi as a firstie? No. Still trying to adjust to this new interface. It's very weird. It shows Debbie's a secondie. Oh, I love that. Thank you for coining that term. You're a secondie. It shows 12 joined, but 7 here now. And it's I haven't figured out why, but that bothers me. It's like, why are they even showing, if there's only 7 here now, why are they showing that 5 other people came and then left? Like, why are they showing me that? It makes no sense. Sometimes, as much as I love Insight Timer as a user, sometimes I do not understand what the F they're doing as a teacher. Just being honest. Maybe 7 messaging? You know what? That reminds me. I need to drop them a line and ask them, what exactly do these categories mean? Because I look at these numbers and I don't know what to think about them, because I don't exactly know what they mean. But I know as a fact, like before they had the new interface, right? The bubbles would stay there even if somebody disconnected or left and went to another live stream. Like you could actually go to multiple live streams and see the bubble of the same person. I've done that. It's a little curious. So I don't know how they're tracking all that. So it's really, really kind of interesting. And they're not showing JoJo's picture. Anyways, numbers don't really matter. What matters is that we're here and we're ready to listen to the council's message from April 21st. Maybe 7 messaging. I don't know. Count them up. How many are messaging? We've heard from Debbie, Nancy, April, JoJo, Johnny, Amelia. That's 6. And me? Maybe I'm 7. Anyways, all right. Who's ready? Here we go. Got to queue everything up. That was a really quick fade. Alrighty, looks like I'm actually calling in the council right there. Debbie's ready. Thumbs up from Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that. Okie dokies, my dear friends. Relax, sit back, enjoy, and let's see what the message is. Dear guides and councils. Hello and greetings, our dear friends. We greet you from the energetic realms where we love, celebrate, and honor every single time your mind says no and every single time your heart says yes. And indeed, Greg's observation of that young child yesterday very much lends into an aspect or a quality or an essence of Is-ness. For those that are brand new, we have been speaking with those in attendance these last 2+ weeks regarding Is-ness, the state of being that we call Is-ness. And in the recent days, we have been discussing various essences and qualities, a much more of a deep dive into Is-ness. The first week or so, we were exploring an introduction to it. Today, the topic is how Is-ness says yes to everything. Now, Greg is very astute at recognizing that the terrible twos, as you call it, in your young toddlers, is very much how your physical third dimensional mind functions. Not necessarily on a daily basis, but it certainly has a way of getting into all of the no's and the limits and the restrictions. And it is much more inclined on a regular basis to see where the limitations are rather than where the possibilities are. Now, that does not mean that your physical mind, the one that lives in your brain and your body, it does not mean that that physical mind is not capable of perceiving the greater possibilities and capable of perceiving past limitations, but it is not necessarily designed that way. And we say this because when you think about it, it is important for the brain, or for the mind, the physical mind, to understand lines and boundaries. Let's say, for example, you are working on a particular creative project or a particular work project, or perhaps you are working on a task around the house. Well, you need to be able to recognize your own limitations and boundaries. If, for example, you are doing a cleaning project at the home or a repair project, you may need to pay attention to when you're hungry, when you need to stop and take a break, when you have reached a certain point in the project which needs to be continued the next day or the next week, depending on the project. You need to be able to recognize limitations in order to have a healthy existence. And indeed, the mind is quite good at this, and it is there to help guide you as well as your intuition. However, when the mind's inclination to find limitations, to say no towards things that are disliked and displeased and not wanted, this does not exactly bring serenity, does it? It does not bring that sense of calm, that sense of peace, the sense of fulfillment, connectivity, etc. You are not in synchronicity when you are saying no to things in life. However, the higher mind, which is in Is-ness, and you, when you are living in Is-ness or from Is-ness, the higher mind says yes to everything. Is-ness says yes to everything. Now, we must clarify what we mean by yes. For you may be sitting there and thinking, well, I see certain things happening in the world that I think are wrong or unjust or unfair, or I just don't plain like them. How can I say yes to that? We do not mean yes as in yes, I accept or allow that to, well, actually, we do mean that. We don't mean yes as in I agree with this. We mean yes as in I acknowledge your right to exist. Notice the subtle difference. Yes is a truly deep form of allowing, where you are saying, let's take, for example, something that is happening in your life. Let us see what is a good example. You have suddenly received. So I'm gonna rewind just a little bit because that was a really potent brief bit, and I personally want to hear it again. When you are saying no to things in life. However, the higher mind, which is in is-ness, and you, when you are living in is-ness or from is-ness, the higher mind says yes to everything. Is-ness says yes to everything. Now, we must clarify what we mean by yes. For you may be sitting there and thinking, well, I see certain things happening in the world that I think are wrong or unjust or unfair, or I just don't plain like them. How can I say yes to that? We do not mean yes as in yes, I accept or allow that to, well, actually, we do mean that. We don't mean yes as in I agree with this. We mean yes as in I acknowledge your right to exist. Notice the subtle difference. So, do you guys have any questions about that? They're encouraging us to say yes to everything from the place of allowing, not from a place of agreement, but from acknowledging everything's right to exist. So think of something in your life. It does not have to be huge. It does not have to be something happening in the world. Think of a small thing in your life that frustrates you or makes you feel sad or brings you down in some way. Small thing. Feel free to write it in the chat. Let us know. It's great to share it so that it's communal. Whatever that small thing is, write it out in chat if you feel like it. And just take a moment and feel into how the feelings about it, the negative feelings about it, or coming from it, or your response to it, is coming from a particular viewpoint. Right versus wrong, good versus bad. I hate this, I don't like this. I feel unsafe, I feel threatened, whatever it is. I just had one this morning. And I don't like when I experience this. It's very uncomfortable. And I'm still sort of trying to figure out where it comes from. But there's a certain area in my life in which I don't like, I get upset really quickly over something really insignificant. And it usually has to do with how much space I'm taking up with different belongings, or what I feel I need in the kitchen, or it's just a weird thing. And it's been going on for years, and it's been raising its ugly head the last few months in surprising ways. And I really feel icky after I have that response. And it's really becoming clear to me that it's from some sort of limitation or expectation that I've created. And you know what? It's quite challenging to navigate sometimes. Other times, I just quickly let it go. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I feel ashamed for responding that way. It's a sticking point. And this morning, what I got to with it was that there's something about my not feeling safe or needing who can relate to this? The mind basically wanting to control our physical environment so that we feel better. I mean, that's a major source of suffering right there. Fortunately, it's not huge suffering for me, but it is really uncomfortable. So do you guys have, Debbie's got an example? My concerns for my daughter and her search for a job. I feel frustrated. I can't wave a magic wand for her. Okay, so that's a good example. It's not quite what I was shooting for. Can you get more granular, Debbie? Like in relation to something that she does, kind of think of something in your life that you have a knee-jerk response to, and it's a response coming basically from limitation or from no or from expectations. She gets upset and I want her to be happy. Yeah. I mean, that's very real, right? And maybe that is your example. Maybe that is what Source is inviting you to work or look at for today. So what this all comes down to is, the real question is, what's our capacity in the moment and our willingness to acknowledge the right for this situation to exist? Melia's got a cool another example. I don't have a couch in my apartment and that empty space frustrates me. Yeah, something small. It's not life-changing. It's not, it's not huge. It's just a small little thing. This is actually, Melia, thank you. That's a pretty good example. Not a pretty good example. I'd say they're all great examples. Sorry. I didn't plan this, so this is all freeform. It's all my lives are. But I like this example. I connect with this example because it's similar to mine about stuff. It's completely not important, but it causes a frustration or an upset or something like that, right? Joanna says, mine is when hubby gets something out of a cupboard and doesn't put it back. My reaction is, if you get it out, yeah. All examples, even Debbie's, which is a big, heavy example. It's a heavier the one than I was going for, but a legit example. Debbie says, drivers bully me on the road by tailgating me, and they're not even bullying you, my dear. They're just in a hurry and not paying attention to the distance. Yeah. So these little things, right? They come from, if you can feel into this example for a moment, like I'm thinking about my one from this morning, and I felt so ashamed after I reacted. I didn't think first, I reacted. And it comes from this, no, this shouldn't be this way. At least mine does. So for example, Melia's example, I don't have a couch in my apartment and that empty space frustrates me. No, this shouldn't be that way. That's what the mind is doing. No, this shouldn't be that way. And yet, if it wasn't supposed to be this way, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't exist. So the path to serenity that the council's talking about is reaching that point, even if we do have that knee-jerk upset reaction, of reaching that point of this happened. Because this happened, it is. And because it is, it has a right to exist. And I have the ability to acknowledge that. It doesn't mean I have to agree with it or like it. But acknowledging that it happened, acknowledging that it is. It's hard. It's a toughie to admit sometimes, right? It can be embarrassing. Sometimes situations just require a little extra communication because we didn't realize we had an expectation over something. So Anyways, a little bit of an exploration on that. Hopefully that was helpful. We're back to the replay. Yes is a truly deep form of allowing, where you are saying, let's take, for example, something that is happening in your life. Nancy just goes one in there. Expectations I have of family members, me being too sensitive and feeling hurt. Now, my dear, I want to encourage you to not judge yourself for being too sensitive. That's a belief system that we've picked up from society and other people. I do not believe that there is such a thing as being too sensitive, because that's invalidating our natural sensitivities. And I know you enough to know that you are sensitive, and it's beautiful to be sensitive. But guess what? You're also human. So you're going to have feelings that are hurt sometimes. You're going to be upset at certain things. Please don't pile on the additional suffering and criticism of being too sensitive. Just feel the essence of those words. That's just a judgment from somebody else, right? It's like when my mom was telling me, you're too silly. Or not my mom, but she'd have me quiet down to not upset my dad. Or my dad was like, you're not taking this seriously or whatever, right? And just those are just messages that we don't need to borrow anymore. We can just throw them out on with the bathwater. Working on this, Nancy says, doing better than before. Yes, indeed. I strongly support and encourage you to let go of the belief that you are too sensitive. In fact, if anything, in our world and community, we want to be as sensitive as possible, right? I don't know about you guys, but I want to be able to sense source flowing through me and my connection with source. I want to be able to have compassion and consideration for other people. I want to be able to have love and compassion and consideration for myself. That's a beautiful form of sensitivity. And you know what? There's no too much of that. Not at least from my perspective. So love you, Nancy. Keep working on it, sweetheart. Thank you for sharing yourself with us. All right, here we go. Let us see what is a good example. You have suddenly received news of a medical nature that you are not pleased with. Or perhaps you have a medical condition or a physical condition that you are not pleased with. Let's keep it at that. In this particular instance, when you first heard word of it, or when you are seeing it as you wake, feeling it, or noticing it as you wake up in the morning, you may indeed rail against it. You may push against it. You may say, no, not this again. I can't stand this. No, I do not want this. This is not what I asked for. Why am I going through this? Etc. and etc. It is absolutely vital, our dear friends, we invite and encourage you to recognize when you're in these moments of pushing against what is. These are the terrible twos. These are the no's. You are saying no to this experience. You are saying no to what you are witnessing. You are saying no to what you are hearing and seeing. Joanne, I think they were talking to you, but I think they were talking to Carrie too. I'm not sure. And others, I'm sure. Jack. Indeed, Greg has one currently in his life where his beautiful beloved laptop fan will occasionally start whirring up in a much louder decibel level and noise level than it is necessarily supposed to. And for absolutely no reason, it does. Well, nudge, wink, wink. There, of course, is a reason, spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, but mechanically there is a small issue with his laptop fan, but it is nothing critical at the moment. Anyways, it will often set him into a position where he is pushing against it. No, don't do this again. It's so loud. It's so annoying. I don't want this. I don't want this. And the way in which he tends to resolve this situation is simply by allowing it to be. For it is indeed being in this very moment. There is nothing he can physically do to stop it from whirring and humming and making loud noises. He simply needs to relax his own vibration and not push against what is. So it's so funny that they're calling me out because I just had that experience again this morning. I turned on the laptop after my meditation and the fan was just spinning and noisy, buzzing so loud. And I was like, no, please don't do that for the stream. Please don't do that for the stream. Oh, it's so funny that the exact same thing is happening. What I realized this morning, because I shut the laptop down 2 times to try. Okay, Carrie, we'll see you, sweetheart. Good to have you here. Oh, okay. Much love to everyone, she says. I had to shut the laptop. I had to restart the laptop twice for the fan to calm down. And in the middle of the first one, I was like, I'm noticing a pattern here that every time I'm agitated, before I turn the laptop on, the fan, not every time, many times, the fan starts buzzing. And I'm pretty certain that it's always buzzed in correlation to my feeling agitated about something else in my life. So there's a strange way in which my beloved laptop is helping me recognize that I'm agitated. And so I shut the laptop down the second time and I ate lunch, I finished lunch, and then I was having a quick potty break and I was thinking to myself, duh, Greg, everything is fine. All is well. Everything's great, actually. My life is really good. Sure, I want more things. I want expansion, etc., etc. Sure, I have frustrations and anxiety and question marks about a bunch of different things. But everything is great. All is well. All is well. All is well. And sure enough, I calmed down enough so that when I turned the laptop on again, it was not buzzing anymore. So, nothing is a coincidence. It's so funny they call me out. Yes is a form. You can think of it as the beginning of saying yes to everything is to start by not pushing against anything. And once you can reach that point of not pushing against anything, in other words, not looking at something and immediately invalidating its existence. For who are you to invalidate the existence of something that actually does exist in this moment? We, as individuals on planet Earth, you do not have the right to actually remove someone's existence, nor do you have the power to remove someone's existence. It exists for a reason. It exists to serve a beneficial purpose. And so when you begin to stop pushing against things that are and begin to say, yes, I see you. Hello, you tip your hat, as we said last week. Hello, I see you. Horrible feeling in my shoulder. Hello, I see you. A morning headache. Yes, indeed, I see. I recognize you. Yeah, I'm not happy that you're here. You do not need to be happy or agree with it, dear friends. We just invite you to not push against it. Honor it, respect it, embrace it. You do not have to love it. You do not have to even like it. You do not even have to make friends with it. However, making friends and making peace with those things that you previously pushed against is a very huge step in your spiritual growth. However, you can just simply say, nod, hello, yes, indeed, I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. And eventually, as you begin to see certain things and see and allow their existence and stop pushing against them, you will suddenly realize that maybe they weren't that important for you to pay attention to anyways, and you will begin to find that there are other more exciting, more interesting, more joy-filled things to pay your attention to. For indeed, you always have the choice of what you wish to focus on, of where you wish to pay your attention to. So indeed, dear friends, we will leave it at this, for there is probably more to say down the road, but indeed, Is-ness says yes to everything. We thank you for your presence here today. We are always so happy and overjoyed to meet with you here in the physical, to co-create together, to converse, and to Celebrate each and every single experience that you have, for indeed we say yes to everything that is you, and by everything that is you, we mean everything that is within your experience, for everything that is within your experience is you. Since we love you, we honor you, we celebrate you, and for today we bid you good day. Well, that last comment. Hey, Sherry, good to see you, sweetheart. Everything within your experience is you. No, Sherry, I'm not talking to you. My phone suddenly thought I was talking to her. Everything within your experience is you. JoJo's troublesome knees are her. Carrie's cancer diagnosis is her. Melia's empty space without a couch is her. Debbie's daughter is her. Not her, Debbie's daughter, is Debbie. My laptop fan, my getting upset around my things in my physical possession. It's just us. So when we rail and push against it, we're railing and pushing against ourselves, which is why it feels like crap, which is why we suffer, because we're pushing and resisting who we really are. We're resisting the isness of that moment. Does that make sense, guys? Are you getting, like, it makes sense to me. Do you have any questions about this? Comments, agreements, feedbacks, anything? Sherry's been listening as, oh, you're driving. Okay. You broke camo and are headed home. I don't know. Oh, you broke camp, maybe? Because O and P are right next to each other. I wasn't sure what camp. Yeah, camp. Oh, okay. You've been camping. Oh, cool. So this might be difficult to understand or grok or even to know. But the whole notion of that everything in your experience, everything in your life is you. Hey, Gwen, good to see you, dear. Hi, Faz, good to see you. I've heard this saying, suffering is a choice, and it was triggering at first and took me years to understand it. I think that I would rephrase that personally. In my belief system, suffering is a result of certain choices, of choices that are out of alignment. So it's not that we're choosing suffering. It's we're making choices to believe or think or see things a certain way. And those aren't causing suffering, but suffering ends up as a result of that. So I don't believe, for me, that we're ever truly choosing suffering. We're just choosing those thoughts. We're choosing those perceptions. We're choosing those beliefs that lead us to suffering. Mela says, oh, this reminds me of how I avoided difficult feelings the entire day. It didn't allow myself to feel those emotions because I was judging the experience. Perfect example, Melia. There's so many possible examples. Yes, that is a beautiful example. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your vulnerability and for your honesty with that. Exactly. You didn't allow yourself because you were judging the experience. Yes, it doesn't feel great. When I was sitting and recognizing how uncomfortable I felt, how ashamed I felt for having such a knee-jerk reaction over something stupid. I mean, not stupid. That was me judging myself. I take that back. Something small and truly, in the grand scheme, insignificant. But for some reason, in that moment, it was very meaningful to me. Literally what happened was my roommate was cleaning up the kitchen or cleaning up the fridge to make space for our newer roommate. And And this is a good thing because we want to accommodate and be considerate of the new roommate needing more space in the fridge, right? So my other roommate was cleaning up things late at night, and I had left my container that I use for making my tuna salad. I had left it empty, and this has been a slightly lazy habit of mine of not washing it out the minute it gets empty. I leave it in the fridge until the next day to clean it out when I go to make my new tuna salad at the next day's lunch, right? So how in God's name was my first roommate supposed to know that that's what I do? That was my habit. That was my choice. That was my behavior, the way I did that. He was just cleaning up the fridge, and he rinsed it out and put it in the dishwasher. That is an absolutely legitimate, logical, totally actually compassionate, kindly thing to do. And yet the minute I couldn't find the Tupperware container, I had this moment of just a little bit of a fit. And then afterwards I was like, oh wait, it's probably in the dishwasher. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I get upset about that? Why did I get upset about that? However, instead of sitting in the upset about that situation, I began to look at the beliefs that were underlying it and the behaviors. A, I have a weird behavior that somebody else might not even understand. B, why am I not cleaning out my Tupperware container when it's empty? I should clean it out because I clean out everything else I use right after I'm done with the meal, but I haven't been doing that. So the whys don't really matter, but to notice like, oh, okay, me not seeing that, I suddenly felt like I wasn't going to have what I need. What I think I need, right? It's just totally physical mind stuff, totally sense of safety and security stuff. And that's the first time I've had this reaction for years in living situations where I've lived with somebody else. For years, even the years I lived with Marty, I would have this reaction. And I never dug into the belief underlying it until this morning. And so thank you, situation. Yes, I see you. I see you frustration. I see you shame. I see you immediate upset. I see you embarrassment. Yes, I see you weird, strange, non-super important situation. And yet it was important for me in the moment because there was a beneficial outcome. I now know that I have some sort of deep-seated belief related to my possessions and my sense of security. I don't know more about that yet. But that is a powerful knowing, right? And I'm sure this behavior that I have will happen again. But maybe next time I won't feel ashamed. Maybe next time I'll be able to more quickly say, yes, I see you. What do you have a message for me? What's the message for me? Okay, or whatever it is. Amelia says, oh, this reminds me. Oh, yeah, there we go. Debbie, yes, it's my reaction and how I see the issue. Absolutely. Calling you out again, Amelia. Yeah, it just happens. It's a loving call out from the council. Faz, it doesn't matter where it's from. That may be helpful for getting a sense of lighterness around it. But what matters is that in the moment, I'm practicing a belief. It is probably something from childhood, maybe not. I'm practicing a belief, some sort of pattern of thought that makes me think, that makes me feel scared. Honestly, I'm just sorting through this right now in the open with you guys, that makes me feel scared for my safety and security and well-being when something that I rely on and use regularly changes positions. Really, that's a simplest way to put it. It's just a belief. I don't like seeing that belief. I'm willing to believe differently because I know that all is well. I know that Source always supports me and loves me. I mean, the council says it all the time. We love and celebrate every single thing about you. I want to do that too. I want to love and celebrate every single experience I have, even if it's ones I don't agree with or don't like. Gwen said, I had an interesting experience this morning. I was looking out my window and saw a beautiful yellow flower standing up in the middle of the yard. It made me so happy. Then I went outside to see it, and it was a buffalo bird plant full of thorns. I decided I had to take it out of my yard. Yes, Faz, it could, but the past doesn't matter. This is the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter that the belief was formed in the past. What matters is that I'm continuing to practice the belief. Digging into the past may help feel better, but it can also be just an ego trip. It could be a way to just stay stuck in the inner child and stuck in the pain of it and stuck. Why bring up all that stuff again when I know that there is a belief behind it and that I have the power to choose what I believe in? So I don't try to process the past as much as I used to for that reason, because I understand now on a deep level that anything I'm experiencing is because I'm experiencing it right now. And past is just an illusion. The future's an illusion. Not to mention the past and the future and the present are all occurring in the right now anyways. So there is nothing from the past. It's just all in the now. So if it's in the now, then hashing through the memories of what happened, hashing through the whatevers about the past aren't as important as getting to the key belief that I'm practicing in the now. Does that make sense? She says, so could it be helpful to make better choices in the moment on how to respond? Yes, it absolutely can. So one of the things from my example, I appreciate you just sharing thoughts, sweetheart. That's totally fine. I love it. It's good sharing. So one of the things that I realized was I can choose to clean the dish out at the very same meal in which I empty it. That would be, for me, the best behavior. Now, I don't mean like best behavior as in you're a good boy, but I mean, that would have the best outcome behaviorally, because then I could place the container in a spot where I keep my pantry area, where I keep all of my different dry foods and things like that. I could place that. I could set it aside for when I go make the meal yesterday. So, but think about it. Think about the beautiful divine synchronicity of this. I would have never learned that I have this deep-seated belief in that whatever it is about my sense of security and well-being with physical objects in a shared space, right? I would have never figured that out if I hadn't been doing this uncharacteristic behavior of not washing one of the things that I use. So that very behavior, I'm not going to beat up on criticize myself for having done that, because even that behavior ended up with a beneficial outcome for me of learning about this. And I really want to release this old belief, whatever it is. I still feel like I'm sifting and sorting through exactly what it is, but I am actually willing to believe different about my sense of security and well-being when it comes to physical things. And also, I'm getting caught up in physical things. It's so funny. So everything is serving the beneficial outcome, right? It's fascinating. I don't know if you can feel into this or sense what I'm talking about. Gwen realized that it has thorns to protect itself, but it was the thorns that had me take it out. So it made me wonder what I have used to protect myself that no longer works. That is a really good question, Gwen. and not even in the past tense, what you are using to protect yourself that no longer works. What you are using. Again, this whole topic of is-ness, the council is encouraging us to bring everything back in the moment, everything back in the here and now, which is the only place that our energy lives. Even if we're thinking of something from the past or the future, our energy, our pure, sacred, essential energy lives in the now. It can't live anywhere else because it's energy, and there is only the now. So our energy can only ever live in the now. So when we go traveling into the past or in the future about anything, our energy doesn't come with us. That's where the disconnect starts to happen, because we come out of alignment with our pure, essential, higher self, sacred energy, because we're in the wasness or in the not yetness. It's fascinating when you start to really drop in on a heart level of understanding this stuff. Debbie says, are we talking about shoulds and should nots? Shoulds and should nots can play into this. Yes. Because think about what a should and a should not is. It's an insistence on something being a certain way. That's all a should is. Whenever you find yourself shoulding on yourself or somebody else, I didn't say shitting, I said shoulding. You're insisting that something be a certain way. And insistence equals resistance. Insistence is non-alignment. So whenever we're in the shoulds, we're not in alignment with where our pure, essential, sacred energy is at, with where our higher self is at, because we're insisting on things being a certain way. Does that make sense, Debbie? Fast is interesting, Gwen, how it started off with a beautiful yellow flower to the thorny, which no longer resonates with. Yeah, the contrast. Indeed, Fast. Very well observed how it started off. It is fascinating. Good, Debbie. Any other questions, comments, sharing? Thank you. I love you guys sharing. Absolutely. And thoughts that shape perceptions, Faz. Faz says, is it then perceptions that shape our thoughts? Yeah. Our thinking shapes our perceptions. I would say it that way. And let's look at it a little bit. If you have a should in your life, for example, Melia's, I should fill that empty space that doesn't have a couch. That's a should. She feels bad because she has a should over it. That's my guess. You can tell us whether that's right or wrong. I'm not attached to being right or wrong, as many of you know. I'm just sort of intuiting it. So Melia might have a should. I should fill that space. I have a should. People shouldn't touch XYZ. I should have a certain amount of space. It's just insistence. It's just the ego insisting that things are a certain way. Debbie says, I guess we need to be mindful of all our reactions and work out what is really going on. You don't need to. It's helpful if you want to grow spiritually, but you don't need to. There's plenty of people on the planet that don't do it. But yes, Fats, I think when you're mentioning perceptions, it really does come down to how we're perceiving things. And we're almost always perceiving things based on what we're thinking and believing. And so if we believe, I'll give you another example. There was somebody last year that I started to get to know, a gal that I really liked. And eventually I had to cut it off because I realized that our worldviews were drastically different. She believed in the difficulty of life. She believed that people were out to get us. She believed that there's a lot of different beliefs. And I just didn't share those beliefs. I didn't perceive life the same way. And we just had such completely different worldviews that no matter how much I liked her, the conversation started to be unenjoyable because we just believed different things. We just saw the world differently. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I remember those. Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas never help us. They just make us feel worse. Hi, Metis River. Nice to meet you. That's a cool name. I frequently laugh at how fast we can shift out of fighting internal self-talk out in the open with someone, or the stance of fight against something in a millisecond when we choose to. I agree, Metis. That's a really cool observation. Makes me dizzy in the sweetest way when I catch myself, like a great relief. It is a great relief. For me, I often feel that relief when I'm getting upset, or I'm feeling anxious or worried or fearful, and I suddenly remember that in this moment all is well, and I just sigh and relax, and it's quick, just like Metis is talking about. It's in a second. It's that aha. It's that remembering, right? We came here knowing that all is well and all is love. But we also came here knowing that life was we were going to push up against life at times and rub up against it, bump up against it, and we were going to learn from the contest. We were going to grow. We came here knowing that. So why not say yes to it all, even if we don't like it? We chose to come into this body. We chose to come into this incarnation. We chose to come into this incarnation and planet Earth at this position in time. So why not say yes to it and find relief? Yeah, all is well, indeed. What a cool name. Métis River? Mapmaker. Oh, I see. British Columbia. Very, very cool. Any other questions, sharing, comments, friends? Métis. Oh, French. Okay, Métis. Merci. Thank you for correcting me. Métis River. I do appreciate saying things correctly. When I was younger, my dad would get my friends' names wrong. So I'd be hanging out with my friend Mike, and he'd call him Bob. It was so embarrassing. He did, and yet my dad did it so innocently. In later years, I started thinking how sweet it was, because he was he really was convinced that this kid's name was Bob or whatever it was. It's kind of a fun thing. Debbie says we can laugh at ourselves sometimes when we notice a bad feeling about something trivial. Yeah, and yet there's an opportunity. There's always a beneficial outcome for that. There's always an opportunity to investigate what our belief is in the moment that is causing us to get upset about something trivial. So instead of judging ourselves and piling criticism on, oh, there I go, getting upset over something unimportant. No. Stop for a moment. Say, I see you. I see myself getting upset. I see this situation. Hello, situation. Thank you. Hello, upset. Yes, thank you. What am I believing that is causing me to feel upset? What am I thinking in this very moment that is causing me to feel upset? It's not always necessarily belief. Most of the time it is. But it can simply be a sudden thought that we just thought. And that gets us upset and puts us in a reactionary mode instead of a responding mode, instead of a proactive response mode. Yeah. I love laughing at myself when I do those things, Debbie. Thank you. Are you aware of what you say when you are channeling? I am to a certain degree. I'm not a full trance channel. I have a friend who channels, and she thinks I'm a trance channel, but I'm very much here when I'm channeling the council. And yet it's funny, because this replay that we watched today, there was that moment when they were calling out that experience I had, and during channeling, my voice changed, and I heard myself as they were using me as an example, and then it switched back to their voice, and it was very subtle. I'm not sure, maybe I can find it. I don't know if I have time. Oh yeah, I do have a little time. I've got a 3 o'clock meeting. I'm getting health insurance today. Let me see if I can find it. It's probably not important. I don't know if I can find it. But it was just this moment. Hey, Allison. Nice to see you, dear. Good to have you. How is my friend? So yeah, I am aware of what I'm saying a lot of times, but it's a very interesting experience, Debbie, because ideas come through as a variety of different sized energetic blocks, like blocks of thought. So for example, if you've ever been here at the beginning, right when I start to channel, I do that invocation. I don't know if anybody's ever heard it. I usually say, "Dear guides and council of seven, please open me up to receive a message for all of us so that I may be of loving service to all in attendance for the highest and best of all. Thank you very much, and we love you very much." And then I just hold that thank you and we love you until they come in. And when they come in, I can feel blocks of thought, even when I'm not actually in the conscious channeling and they're talking to me, like when we're having a live and they add extra bits. I feel it come in through my mind. So I connect with them through my heart. And I basically feel like I'm expanding my heart, my energy so big that I become a receiver, a radio, if you will, translator, or whatever you want to call it, for these large blocks of energy that are thought to come through. And then sometimes I stumble over the putting them into words. So you'll notice that in the earlier part of this particular replay, they were about to say, when they were talking about clarifying what they meant by Is-ness saying yes, by the yes part. Is-ness says yes to everything. When they were clarifying the yes part, and I stumbled, and because the block of thought comes through all together. So it's like, how do I express this? I receive the entirety of a concept with all its nuances, all the different talking points, all the different possibilities. I receive that all at once. And then I'm having to translate and sift through that. So in that particular example where they were saying, we don't mean yes as in accepting and allowing. Oh, wait, actually, that is what we mean. What we mean is we don't mean yes as in agreement, right? That whole block, that whole concept came through as a block, and I got the words jumbled up in the translation. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's really quite amazing. It's an amazing experience. I'm hoping that at some point, I really do wish that at some point I could channel with my eyes open, kind of how Esther Hicks does and others. But for now, I have to keep my eyes closed to maintain the connection. But there's been times that I've maintained the connection and opened my eyes, like to look at chat or drink my aqua. And so I'm not 100% completely in trance. I don't know if I'll ever fully be a full trance channel. So it is quite fascinating. Gwen says, I woke up sad this morning and I said, I see you, sadness. Oh, everybody just feel that. Say that for a moment out loud to yourself. I see you, sadness. I see you, sadness. And said, hey, are y'all enjoying my sadness up there? And I laughed and all was good. Oh, Gwen, that's a great story. I'm going to read that again. I woke up sad this morning and I said, I see you, sadness. And I said, hey, are y'all enjoying my sadness up there? And I laughed and all was good. They definitely celebrate every single experience that we have. Awesome sauce. Do you guys want an extra message from the council before I go? Anybody? Yes, no? Speak up in chat if you want an extra message from the council before I go. Always, says Joe. Johnny says thumbs up. Bev says yes, please. Debbie says yes, please. Melia says yes. Kathleen says, oh, yes. Welcome, guys. Nice to have you join us. Okay. I have no idea how many people are actually here. The joined says 60 and the here now says 19. So whatever. If there are really only 19 of us here. What's that? Zay? Oh, that sounds fun. What language is that? Oui. Bonjour. Si. Absolutement. and among other things. I don't speak many languages. I do speak sign language. This is yes. This, yes, yes. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, our dear beloved friends from across time and space. We greet you from the energetic realms where, yes, Gwen, wink, wink, we were very much celebrating your sadness this morning with you. Indeed, for our series of thinking around your sadness, dear Gwen, was, yes, she's acknowledging her sadness. Fantastic, wonderful, beautiful. Oh, we love to see such experiences. In fact, we love to see all your experiences, dear ones, even if Gwen were not to wake up in that morning time and say, yes, hello, sadness, I see you. If she were to say, oh, frickin' frack, I'm sad, gosh darn it, we would be, yes, look at how she's resisting the sadness. This is such an amazing thing. Indeed, you may find this ridiculous, but dear ones, we cannot hold any other vibration except the highest possible vibration for you. This is why we say we celebrate everything for you. Are we actually throwing a party? No, not really. I mean, yes, in a certain way. But we recognize that in these very moments of every single experience, you have all the different beautiful sharings and examples from today's live stream. Dear ones, we have celebrated every single one of them. And not alone, we remind you, we celebrate them with your higher mind, with your higher self. Indeed, they join us. They often bring the cake and goodies and refreshments, for we are certainly celebrating in that moment your higher mind's experience of this as well. It is in our pure essential nature to always and constantly be focused vibrationally on what is highest and best, highest possible vibration for you. And so we understand that this is not easy always for you to do within your day-to-day human experience. But we want you to know this important information because we want you to understand that we always have your back in this manner. No, we will not lower ourselves down vibrationally to commiserate with you in your cups, as they say in certain cultures. We will not lower our vibration in order to console you in your sluggish moods. We will forever hold this vibrational focal point for you. For consider this, dear ones, if we were to lower our vibrational focal point, then you would lose your anchor. You would lose your North Star and guiding light, so that when you are in the throes of your despair and different sufferings, all of which we also celebrate, by the way, and then you will have a North Star to return to. And indeed, the only reason you are experiencing your sadnesses and your sufferings and your disappointments and your knee-jerk frustrated reactions, the only reason is because in that moment, your thinking was saying no to your higher self's perspective. That's all. It's that simple, friends. It's that simple. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because the other person who might have caused you frustration is a bad person. It's not because somebody was doing something nasty towards you. It's not because they were out to get you. It's not because things should be a certain way, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's not because of any of that, really. It's just because in one moment's time, your thinking was not in alignment with what your higher self perceives. That's all. And this is usually because of beliefs, as Greg has so eloquently explained to you. So, dear ones, do take your friend Gwen's example to heart. It is truly a delicious and yummy one, and we understand and honor and respect that you will not be able to say, "Oh, hello, sadness. Yes, I see you," every day. This is not required, dear ones. There is no need to be perfect. Even that is a should. There is just the here and now. Your acknowledgement of what is. Is your elbow hurting? Ah, hello. Yes, hello, elbow. I see you. I feel you hurting. How are you today? What message do you bring? Is your head hurting? Is your heart heavy because someone will not return your affections? Ah, yes, hello. I see you, disappointment. Thank you. Thank you for showing yourself to me. You are letting me know that there is something I am thinking that is not in alignment with my pure, beautiful, essential energy. Okay, I can work with that. For nothing has gone wrong. It just is. And so, dear ones, this is very much part of the teaching around Is-ness says yes to everything. It's not saying yes to everything from a place of agreement or even liking or loving. It is saying yes, simply acknowledging a tip of the hat, as we've said before, a tip of the hat. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. I may be completely pissed and dissatisfied with the seeing of you, but I see you. I acknowledge that you exist. I acknowledge that this is right now. Dear ones, this will lead to much relief and release as you continue to practice this. And the more and more that you practice just nodding and acknowledging what is, you will then begin to see that you don't just feel love, you don't just funnel and flow love from yourself to other individuals. No, you indeed are love. For when you nod your head or tip your hat, whatever you want to call it, to what is, you are acknowledging yourself. And the more you can acknowledge yourself, the more you can see yourself in all experiences of life, the more you will realize the great unity of the second frequency. For you are everything, and everything is you. We hope this helps. This has been an enjoyable conversation, at least topic-wise for us. We are so glad that you are excited and interested in the topic of Is-ness, and we do look forward to future conversations with you on it. We bid you adieu this day, and remember, dear ones, everything you experience in life is you. You are simply experiencing more of yourself. We bid you good day, and we love you so much. Yes, thank you, Council, for your words. We love you. We love you. All right, my dear ones. Lightning. Woo, love that, Métis. Did I say it right? Métis. Yes, beautiful. How's that feel, my friends? I must get ready for my next thing. Oh, I forgot to throw up our beautiful punch cards. If you have not yet followed me, please do consider doing so. You get notified of the live streams. We're going for 1,000 followers. So please do consider following. You can follow through that punch card, or you can just follow through clicking on my face in the live and going to the profile that way. Also, if you feel so moved, I would really love it if you would donate. Here's a quick punch card, easy pop-up to do that with. I really appreciate donations. They help keep my business going. They help grow my business. It means a lot to me. It absolutely means a lot to me. And thank you very much. It's just a beautiful way to support teachers if you so feel like it. Otherwise, if you are excited for the next live stream, that's tomorrow. And here's the pop-up for that. Why is-ness is an important topic and how it relates to love. It's going to be a good one. They've all been good ones, right? Am I right? They've all been great. Anyways, I am going to acknowledge that I need to move on, and I'm going to bid all of you a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate however many of you were actually here. I don't think it was 60. I think it was 18. Anyways, however many of you were here, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chatting. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I am going to send you on your way so that I can get ready for my health insurance appointment. Bye. Love you guys. Mwah. See you later.